Hello, welcome back to the Man Cave. Today I'm going to do a video on how to machine polish a car or a panel of a car. I'm in a couple of car groups on Facebook or on social media, and a few of the questions is, what's the correct way to polish a car? So I'm just going to do a panel for you to show you, but I'm going to do it properly, not just a hand polish. I'm going to do a machine polish, sometimes referred to in the trade as mopping a car. What that means is you use a machine polisher and you polish the panel in 2 or even 3 stages. Today I'm going to show you how to do that. Bit of background about me as to why I'm qualified to show you. Back in 1990, when I left school, I did a YTS scheme for about 3 years and got qualified City and Guilds in panel beating and paint spray and car body repair basically. I then had a few years working for a Ford main dealer through the 90s. When I moved away to Kent, I worked for a specialist that did Volvo, Mercedes and BMW dealers. We used to do their cars. And then when I came back from Kent, I had 5 or 6 years in the home workshop where the Daimler is, doing paint myself. But then at sort of 36, 37 years old, my health started suffering for using 2K for all them years. So I basically packed it up. But I still do my own bits and pieces and friends and family, but I don't do it for a living anymore. But what I'm going to do is show you how to machine polish a car. And you're going to be saying, well, what car are we going to use? I was going to use my daily, my Jag Estate, but I thought, no, because that's pretty well polished to start with. What better candidate than that? My dad's old Ford Scorpio Estate. Now, it has been sitting here for years, and we're going to polish this wing. I can't remember what colour this is. I think it's looking at it, it's probably tourmaline green, I'm guessing. I think we can see attached to it. 2008 that came off the road, look, and that's now 2020. So this car has not seen the road for years, and it certainly hasn't seen a wash or a polish. As you can see, in fact, it's used for storage now. So I'm going to show you the equipment I'm going to use and the chemicals I'm going to use, and then do a practical demonstration of how to polish this wing up. Now, before we start, the chemicals I'm going to use are trade chemicals. Forget the stuff you can get at Halfords or your DIY store, your Auto Glims and your Maguires. It's all DIY rubbish. The trade will certainly never use it. It's laced with silicone, it's a fake finish, and it doesn't last. This stuff here is the proper stuff, what the trade uses to finish paint. So after they've done a respray, they will, if you watch these American programs, they call it wet sand. We call it flat and polish. It's where you go over the car with 1500 paper, then 2000 wet and dry, and then you go over it with your polishers. And it should bring this wing up, I'm hoping, pretty good. So, the stuff we're going to use, this is pretty new. This is G3 Premium. They didn't used to do that when I worked in the trade, but this is a pretty good stuff. It's got a stage 1 and a stage 2, so really it eliminates the need for G10, but I am going to G10 anyhow. So what this really does is do a coarse cut and polish and cut on top, but I will G10 as well. Right, thing with these is they need using with a professional mop. Forget your little Mickey Mouse mops you can get out of Argos and all them 12 volt things and them silly little multi-pad mops. This is a proper mop. It's the same as a 9-inch grinder, quite heavy, and they take these 6-inch pads. This is a black one, quite soft. We'll use that for the second stage. You're on a white one, quite firm, which just screws on. There you go, he's on. And these are like a 9-inch grinder, but it's heavy. They do not spin anywhere near as fast. If you put one of them on a 9-inch grinder, it'll instantly burn your paint. Don't be tempted. Get a proper mop. This one is actually 1800 RPM, look. But yeah, that's years old, that mop. I think I bought that in about 2004. It was about 140 quid back then, but I have looked on eBay since, and you can actually get cheap mops now on eBay for about £50. What they're like, I do not know. So let's get the GoPro set up here, and I'm going to start by showing you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to mask the bonnet off so you can see a before and after. I want you to see what the panel was like before and after. So we'll put a few layers on here just to keep the new polish off this bonnet. I could have used 2-inch tape, but for some reason I've decided to use 1-inch tape. Right, there we go. So what we're going to do now is, all I've got in my spray bottle here is water. Nothing more, nothing less. This panel hasn't been washed. As you can see, there's still weeds and cobwebs growing up it. Obviously we don't really want to polish over the dirt. You could wash the car. A lot of people do. But for what we're going to do here, this will do fine. Just wet the panel up. Get an old t-shirt. And just wipe it off. All we want to do is get the loose dirt off. Don't worry about sort of putting micro scratches in, because as you'll see, they will soon come out. Right, that panel is now clean enough for what we want to do. Let that dry a second, which it is. And I want you to hear this. When we rub a hand on that panel, oh my god, there is overspray from years on there. I can see it if you look really close. Everything I've painted in that shed over the years, overspray has blown out. I do hope I haven't chosen too ambitious a project here to show you how to machine polish. But yeah, so that is actually quite rough. In fact, that's very rough. So, I'll set the GoPro up again. And you can see exactly what we're now going to do. Where are we? Here we go. So we get our mop there. We then get our G3 compound. I know this is trade stuff, but you can still get it all online. I mean, you can buy this stuff online, about 20 quid a bottle, I think it is. And that's quite a big bottle as well. It's a 1 kilo bottle, so it'll last. I've got a new mop head here. I've got a white one, which is firm, which is what we want for the first stage. Give that a little spray. Some people even dunk these in water. I don't. Give the panel a little spray. If you dunk these in water, as soon as you turn the mop on, it's like a spin dryer and you get dirty. So wet your panel slightly. Wetting the panel is quite key. Just put a little bit. If I can actually get the polish out of the machine. There we go. Right, we'll put some G3 on here. And now, key is stand sideways, rub it over a bit, and then away we go. Let me move this over here so you can see. There you go. See what I mean about these are quite slow moving. If they go too fast, they will burn the paint, no doubt about it. Obviously I'll spray something red because this is clear coat on there and that's coming off red on the mop head, so obviously that's got red overspray on it off something. I'm hoping this panel will actually polish up. I hope I haven't been too ambitious. As you'll see, you do not need an awful lot of polish to do an actual panel, because it works in quite a lot. Right, that's basically the first stage done. That's put the G3 on. So we now take this off with a cloth and you'll see that this panel is pretty damn good already. But that's just the first stage. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the G10 on, because if you left it like this now, yes, it looks good. But if you've ever seen a car on a petrol station forecourt at night or in the sunlight, and when the sun catches it, you can see loads and loads of swirl marks where it looked like the side of the car is smudgy and swirly. That's because it's been machine polished, but it hasn't been finished. It's just had this first grade done. It hasn't had the finishing stages done, which takes out all them micro swirls. So right, we've dried this off just using an old cotton t-shirt, and we're now going to apply some G10. There you go. We use a little bit of G10 on there, some more water. Water is key here because it stops this machine actually burning the surface. Now we're going to change the mop head as well, because you want a coarse mop head or a hard mop head for, like, just rub this G10 on like so with a rag. It don't particularly matter if it dries before you get to it, because you can always just keep spraying it and it will soften it back up again. So I'm going to change the mop head now from this white one, which is quite firm, to this one, which is a lot softer. So let's unscrew the mop head and put the softer one on. Come on, get on there. There you go. Right, give it another little squirt. Squirt the mop head. You don't want your mop head soaking, because it'll just spray. It'll spray off like a spin dryer. And all this is tap water. No soap in it, nothing. And this is basically like a really powerful teacup. Now I'm not keeping this as wet as I should, but my experience is telling me what I can and can't get away with. There is hundreds of small stone chips up the corner of that wing. Right, now we've put the G10 on. Just wipe that off like you would a normal polish. Something over the years has peppered this with tiny stone chips. What, I'm not sure, but something has since it's been sitting here. There's a dead line across there, so it looks like something's been leaning against it, and this half has bared the brunt of some stone chips. Right. Alright, now we've put the G10 on, I'm going to use this stuff. I find quite good. It's aerosol, believe it or not, made by Autosmart, and it's basically a spray-on polish. Now a lot of the traders are going to slate me and go, oh my dear, but believe me, that is very good stuff. I absolutely love it. Alright, so we just put some of this hand polish on with a new microfiber cloth. And we just allow that to dry for a few seconds. Right, we'll allow that to dry, and I'll get a clean cloth and wipe that off. Here we go. Right, that is pretty much done, fellas. That is pretty much a machine polished panel. So when you take your car to a body shop and tell them to machine polish it, this is what they will do over the whole car. I could have took a lot more time doing that, but for the purposes of this video, you certainly understand it. So there is what the panel looked like. Now it's polished. Now you compare that to the rest of the car and feel. You can't hear a thing. That is silky smooth. There's no imperfections. It feels like glass. So let's peel this tape off the bonnet so you can see a before and after. There we go. Let's just wipe that polish out that gap there. So that is the before and after of the machine. That's what that wing did look like, and this is what it looks like now. So, and this was a quick 10-minute polish on a car what's been sitting like this for, what was it, 2008? What's that, 12 years? So that car has been sitting like that for 12 years, and we've just polished up the wing to look like this. And this whole car would polish up like this. If I spent half a day, I'd have to obviously jet wash this thing first. But spend half a day with this and the whole thing would polish up like that. So yeah, the key is here, use trade chemicals, and if you can, use a trade machine. I know they're expensive, but if you like your car and you like keeping on top of your car, purchase a good mop. They take some getting used to. They're like them horrible floor polishers. If you use them dead flat, they will grab and pull you all over the panel. So you've always got to use them, instead of using them square on, slightly use one edge. I'm exaggerating that there, but you ought to be slightly off to the centre. And then that'll only pull in one direction. It'll either pull up or down, depending which way you hold it. Now I like it so it pulls up, so I can keep a slight downward force on it all the time. It allows you to keep a good grip. But use a good mop. They are expensive, yes, but they do pay for themselves if you do, you know, if you value your paintwork. Another thing is with these, don't do your car too regular with this, because what this actually does is take a few microns off the layer of paint, whether it be base coat and clear or a solid colour. It will take a micro layer off the top, which is what it does. It actually cuts the top of the surface off. If you do it too many times, you will eventually wear through your clear coat and then you'll be down to your base colour, or it'll wear through to the primer if it's a solid colour. Also be very, very careful on things like mouldings and swage lines, because you can soon nip the paint clean off them and then you'll be left with a high spot which has no paint on it. So these do take some getting used to, but if you want to do your car properly, this is the way to do it. So yeah, that's all I can say really. Farsella G3 Premium, very good stuff, followed by a G10, also made by Farsella, and then I use the Stardust Eclat, which is by Autosmart, which is just an aerosol polish. You can actually use that just as an all-time polish. This has got no cut to it at all. You can use this every day, and all it'll do is build a nice shine up on your car. You can also use this on painted plastics, everything like that. And to knock all the rumours on the head about polishes designed for metallic paints and pearls, it's a load of rubbish. Believe me, it's a load of rubbish. Metallics and pearls, all they are is a metallic or a pearlescent base coat, and they're gone over with a clear coat. So all you're doing is polishing the clear coat. And a lot of solid colours also have a clear coat. So once again, all you're polishing is clear coat. It really doesn't matter. All this metallic polish, it's rubbish. It's no different to the normal stuff. You can just use normal polishes. That's about all I can tell you. But yeah, there is. Bearing in mind, this is an old car. I mean, I think this is an old M-Reg, this car. Is it an M-Reg? I don't know whether that's M or R-Reg. Oh, that's an R-Reg, look. I mean, this is an old R-Reg car, so it's a, what's R-Reg, 97? So this is an old 97 car. It's, you know, 2007, so that's 23 years old. And as far as I know, this paint is factory original. I don't think, well, Dad certainly never had no paint done on this when he used it, and that weren't very old when he got it. So yeah, that's what it'll bring 27-year-old paint up like, which has been sitting for 12 years in these conditions. It hasn't been garaged. As you can see, it's just sat out here, summer, winter, autumn, all seasons, all weathers, sat here just growing up. And with 10 minutes with the machine polisher, that's what one wing has come up like, and that is what your whole car could come up like. But I say, don't do this too often. On edges, you're likely to break through, and if you do it too many times, you're just going to take micron after micron off your paint, and eventually it'll be so thin you'll break through. So, but if you do get a car, you buy a car and you think, oh, the paint's a bit scratched, a bit tired, go over it with this. It will take small scratches out, small bumper scuffs where you can see where that's left the paint of whatever someone's hit on there. 9 out of 10 times it'll take that paint off and bring it up like new. If it's broke the paint, obviously no polish is going to get rid of that. But if your paint hasn't been broken and it's just got a burn scuff on it, or a light scratch from like fingernails, where someone with long nails undo door handles and leave sort of swirls, fingernail marks under the door handles, it'll get rid of all them, this polish will. It's brilliant stuff. And this is what the trade use when they buy cars out of auctions. They'll buy high mileage cars, or ex-post office vans, or ex-fleet cars, ex-hire cars. All they do is, the big garage supermarkets, what they do is they get one of their guys to go over them cars with this. It's called bullshitting them up, and that'll bring these sort of 4, 5, 6 year old high mileage cars, it'll bring them up to a brilliant paint finish. They stick them on the forecourt, retail them at full money. That's all they do to them. So I'm going to leave it at that. I've let you into the little secrets of the trade of how to machine polish a car. Any comments, please feel free to comment. I don't mind. I'll sort of ask questions. If you have a different way of doing it, that's fine. We all have our own ways of doing these things, but this is just my way of machine polishing. I hope you found this interesting. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye bye for now. Look at that.